Today we are going to start with a new topic of surface chemistry, that is catalysis, right? So I think you are familiar with the term catalyst, but still to recall you, I'm just telling you that what actually is a catalyst. See, catalyst plays a very important role in a chemical reaction. As we all know that whenever a chemical reaction happens, we need a certain rate at which it takes place, because the reaction should not be neither too slow, it should not be neither too fast that it leads to explosion. We need a moderate rate of reaction, and that means if we can increase the rate of reaction by using the catalyst. So what is catalyst? Catalyst is a substance which can increase or decrease the rate of reaction without undergoing any change in itself. Write in your copy, it's a special note, a special property of a catalyst, that it do not gets changed. Like even if you add 100 gram of catalyst to a chemical reaction, after the completion of reaction you are going to get the 100 gram of catalyst back. So that means catalyst is a substance that increase or decrease the rate of reaction. That means it can increase the rate, even it can decrease the rate, but without undergoing any change in itself. It won't undergo any change. That means neither it's you can say the concentration is going to change, neither it is going to react with some other compound or any other substance. It will remain as such. But we can get the physical state change. Suppose in a reaction I am adding a block, then after the completion of reaction it is possible that instead of block I'll get that in a finely divided substance. The catalyst occurs as finely divided substance. The reason behind, because catalyst is offering a surface for the reaction, and we know that when there is more surface area, more the reactants are going to get you can say react on that surface. So this is what happened, that after the completion of reaction it is a possibility that we get a block converted into a finely divided catalyst. But when we talk about the rate, definitely it is going to alter the rate. Definitely it is going to alter the rate. So what, like if somebody is going to ask you about catalyst, how you are going to answer that? So catalyst is a substance which increase or decrease. It is not always that we have a catalyst which will always increase. We do have catalysts which can decrease the rate as well, because in some of the phenomena we need a reaction that the rate of the reaction should not be very fast. So there also catalyst plays a role that they can lower the rate also, right? So that means catalyst is a substance which increase or decrease the rate of reaction without undergoing any change in itself, right? As I told you that if we talk about the amount is not going to change. If we are talking about the chemical composition won't change, but the physical state might change, because as I told you that we need a certain surface, and more the surface area, more reactants are going to come on that surface, and likewise the more collisions and more reaction is going to happen, right? So that is a possibility that we can get the catalyst in the form of finely divided pieces, right? So that is what. Now you can say a phenomena that deals with the behavior of catalyst, that how it is altering the rate, that means how it is increasing the rate or how it is decreasing the rate, that phenomena is called as catalysis. That phenomena is called as catalysis. So that means catalysis is a phenomena in which a catalyst have a property to just alter the rate. It might increase or it might decrease according to the demand of the reaction. So this is what. Here I have few examples for you where I am going to show you the catalyst, that how catalyst is making the reaction happen. See, this reaction, I think you are familiar with this reaction. This is nothing but hydrogenation of oils. What is hydrogenation of oils? We know that it is the conversion of unsaturated fat into a saturated fat by adding hydrogen. Conversion of unsaturated fat into saturated by adding hydrogen. So see, this is what I have. I have ethene, and I am going to add hydrogen to it. As you can see, there is a double bond, so that means ethene is a unsaturated compound. Now when I add hydrogen to it, what happens? The double bond gets broken up, and the hydrogen just get linked to that, and it leads to the formation of a saturated compound. And you know that this reaction, the rate of this reaction occur fast when this reaction is taking place in presence of nickel. So here nickel is just promoting the reaction, or you can say nickel is just increasing the rate of the reaction. So here nickel is acting as a catalyst. Another example we have is the breakdown of KClO3. When we break down potassium chlorate, it definitely breaks down into KCl and O2. And you know that the special property of this reaction is like if I want to break KClO3, I need to supply it a high temperature. And you know what temperature? Approximately equal to 800 Kelvin. Approximately equal to 800 Kelvin. But when I use a catalyst in this reaction, like I did in this case, I used manganese oxide, then it may occur at lower temperature. That means the temperature earlier without catalyst was 800 Kelvin, and with catalyst it gets reduced to 480 Kelvin. So you can see that earlier the temperature was increasing the rate, but when I just replace the temperature with the catalyst, the temperature gets lowered. So that proves actually that catalysts have an ability to increase the rate of reaction. Likewise, I have this famous process, you know that it is a Haber's process. And what is that? It is the formation of ammonia. Now here, when the reaction takes place, it also takes place at high temperature, and even it requires a high pressure, right? So you know that this reaction occurs in presence of catalyst iron. Iron just help in making the N2NH2 react and just leads to the formation of NH3. And this is a reversible reaction. This is a reversible reaction. We need to liquefy ammonia as soon as it is formed, because otherwise at the given conditions of temperature, pressure and catalyst, it may break down again into N2NH2. So this is what is catalyst. Now, when we talk of depending upon the action of the catalyst, we have two substances. We can divide the catalyst substances, or you can say the additional substance which are needed for the functioning of catalyst. We classify them according to like how they alter the rate of the catalyst into promoters and poisons. Promoters are those substances, see, keep in mind they are not catalysts actually, they are just affecting the activity of the catalyst, you can say they are having an impact on the catalytic activity. So we have promoters and we have poisons. What promoters are doing? Promoter, as the name suggests, they are just increasing the effect of catalyst. They are just increasing the effect of catalyst. That means they are just you can say pushing the catalyst so that it can behave in a better manner. So they are actually called as promoter. And we do have a substances poison, as the name suggests. What is poison? Obviously it is going to destroy the activity. So that means it is just going to decrease the impact of catalyst in a reaction. That means they will not you can say they will not let the catalyst show its effect. Yeah, this is the correct term. They will not let the catalyst to show its effect. So they are called as poisons. Now see, we have promoters. I told you that this is a Haber's process. You know that for this Haber's process to occur, I told you that we need a catalyst iron. Iron just promote this reaction, right? Or you can say it catalyze the reaction. This will be a better term. Now this, like if here we use a promoter, and that promoter is molybdenum oxide. What this molybdenum oxide is doing, it is just increasing the impact of iron so that iron can behave in a better way and can just make the rate of reaction more faster. So that means it is just enhancing the activity of the catalyst. Likewise, this is hydrogenation of oils, as I told you. Here the promoter is like it occurs in presence of platinum, that is the catalyst. And it can also, like we need a promoter, so in this case we know that it can be nickel, it can be platinum. So hydrogenation of oil doesn't need a catalyst actually, but if we do this in presence of certain promoters like platinum, it just increase the rate of reaction. Likewise, we have poisons. See, as we are doing the hydrogenation of oils, so when we are doing hydrogenation of oils in presence of sulfur or arsenic, they act as poison here. They will just reduce the effect of platinum. As we know, nickel, platinum, palladium, they can act as a catalyst, right? So if we add sulfur along with that, it is just going to suppress the effect of the catalyst. That means it won't let the catalyst to show its effect, and the rate of the reaction will not be affected. Likewise, here I am going to show the hydrogenation of ethine. So when this hydrogenation of the ethine is carried in presence of platinum, it gets converted into alkene and then converted into alkane. So at last the reaction stops at the formation of alkane. But when this similar reaction will take place in the presence of Lindlar catalyst, so the reaction stops at alkene. reaction stops as alkene. So we can say that otherwise the ethyne has the you can say an ability to form the alkane directly in presence of platinum, but when you use Lindlar catalyst, it is just reducing its activity actually, and what it is doing, it is just stopping the reaction at alkene, and it is not letting that alkene to convert into alkane. Otherwise, if the reaction would have taken place in presence of platinum, which act as a promoter, that means the reaction would end up at alkane. That means the whole of the reaction will get completed, but when we use Lindlar catalyst, it actually stop at this point. So that means we do have promoters and poisons which are you can say having an effect on the impact of the catalyst, and catalyst is something which is obviously going to affect the rate, whether increase or decrease. Accordingly, according to the demand of the reaction, we use catalyst. As I told you that here we have used certain catalysts, so likewise we use catalyst in various ways, in various reactions. Most of the chemical reactions are taking place in presence of catalyst because we need a certain rate. We need a certain rate because as we are concerned with the chemical reaction, we are also concerned with the rate. Suppose if we are doing certain task and we want that this compound should be formed, so we want that compound formation should be faster, because so that we can use that compound in a certain reaction, right? We don't want that a chemical reaction to be too slow that it takes 3-4 hours and it should not linger on the formation, right? So that is what we need a catalyst, and at certain positions, as I told you, it is just decreasing the rate also, and there the decreasing of rate is also a beneficial factor for certain reactions.